Hello, denizens! So I've had my Intel i7-10700 non-K Hackintosh up and running for a couple of weeks now after unceremoniously dumping my AMD Hackintosh. And now I will tell you if it was a good idea to switch from AMD. Welcome back! The short answer is yes. Although no technically is a shorter answer by one letter. So it would make more sense if people chose yes as an answer, should say the slightly longer answer by one letter is yes. Anyway, yes, I'm very happy with the change to Intel Hackintosh. Some of you said I should have just purchased a new 27-inch iMac. Yes, that was an option. And yes, I made the wrong initial bet on AMD, but let's do the math and you will see the magic of build your own compared to pre-built. The AMD initial build included a Fractal case, an NVMe drive, a 32 gig of RAM, Noctua NHU12A cooler, and an EVGA 1000 watt power supply that I got on sale. I already had a Radeon 7 from my 7700K Hackintosh. Oh, and already had two very nice monitors. I didn't need a monitor. Just the AMD motherboard and 3950X CPU cost me about $1,300 Canadian. I just sold the CPU for $800 and I'll keep the AMD motherboard for future fooling around. So I'm out about $500. I bought the Gigabyte Vision G motherboard and i7-10700 for $700. Remember, this is all in Canadian pesos. So you could say the new computer cost me $1,500 plus $500 AMD penalty for a total of $2,000. You could add my Radeon 7 and Bluetooth Wi-Fi card, but they were hand-me-downs. I'll get back to that later. Now, let's go to the Apple Canada website. First, we'll take a peek at the iMac Pro 10-core as my Geekbench score was very close to it. Similarly configured, it came to more than $7,000. Even if you include its brilliant monitor, I think I still came out way ahead. But let's configure the new iMac, which everyone says also matches up to the 10-core iMac Pro. Now, here I'm thinking iMac's 8-core i7K version will outperform my non-K CPU as its 3.8 base clock is higher than my 2.9 base clock, but they both top out at around 4.9 or 5. But I'll have much better cooling and my GPU is way better. Besides, the much maligned CPU user benchmark website said that there was only a 3% difference between the two processors, if you want to believe them. The new iMac came to $4,400 and change. Again, even accounting for its wonderful monitor, I still think I came out ahead. And just look at what I'm salvaging from older computers, reusing parts, and that's the point. I made a purchasing error, but the penalty to fix it was not egregious. I have friends who didn't listen to me and got too low a spec iMac just to save money, and they are now regretting it, and there's nothing they can do about it regarding upgrading it. And Apple should go to hell for creating the Fusion drive. I love the Mac. I've had a lot of them, but once they're done, they are trash. And come on, when you give your computer back to Apple to recycle, do you really think they're recycling it or tossing it in the dumpster behind the store? What do you think? Come on, QAnon, stop searching for alien lizard senators. We need some investigative work here. Get on it. Let's get to some of the other things I've discovered while living with the new Intel Hackintosh versus the AMD box. First of all, I caveat this whole thing by saying I'm sure that there are AMD CPU and motherboard combos and much better open corers than me who have none of the problems I've had. But here's a quick rundown of the original things that switching back to Intel solved. My audio DAC now works again. Logic Pro works properly. Final Cut now works with 4K 10-bit 422 video vlog in real time without stuttering. My webcam now works with Zoom and FaceTime without freezing. I love that gag. iStats features are all working now, including CPU temp. Some of the new observations: Discord live streams work without the terminal hack that you needed to use on AMD, which, you know what, I could never get working for me anyway. OBS works without the tiny glitches that were in there. My scanner software works again. The Bluetooth Wi-Fi card does not need any CACs to get it to run. It's OOB. My monitor calibrator now works again. That was dead. It just would not work on my AMD build. Drawing programs don't lag. Weirdly, that was an issue. With all those cores, all those threads, it lagged. Hackintosh gives me way more useful info about the components, and I got my iGPU to work with QuickSync, which is not available on the AMD platform, but for that matter, it's not available on any Intel Xeon Mac either. My final observation is that the Intel Hackintosh was just easier to build and more compatible. I started with the wonderful OC Gen X config plist builder by Pavo, added the AMLs from the Dortania guide specifically for the Comet Lake CPU, updated the device properties to include using Intel's QuickSync, compared the final config plist with OpenCore Sanity Checker, and everything worked the first time. I was shocked. I mean, I'm experienced doing this. I was still shocked, but pleasantly shocked. Apart from the value, I really enjoy the reusability of Hackintoshing. It fits my eco-sensibilities. If you believe in right to repair, which Apple does not, even though they pretend to, it does not get any better than this. Frankly, no one really talks about this aspect, and with more and more things becoming sealed, unrepairable, and unupgradable, like everyone seems to be following Apple, being able to repair and recycle has been very important to me ever since my dad taught me how to use fiberglass and Bondo to fix his rusting AMC Hornet Sportabout. My son and I recently fixed our 20-year-old washer-dryer combo for a measly $300. Yes, I could easily have afforded a new washer-dryer, but that's not the point. We're living in a throwaway society, and manufacturers are making things that can't be repaired. They're making garbage. So as far as I'm concerned, this is bullshit, and we need to fight it. And one way to fight it is, demand that these devices can be repaired. Now, I can hear some of you yelling at the smartphone you're watching this on while you're on the crapper. What about the new Mac Pro? Yes, it's expandable, upgradable, and it's true you can put a regular GPU in there, as well as your own RAM and NVMe drives, but none of the proprietary stuff Apple has built for it will work anywhere else. I say it's a half win for half wits. So there you go, a quick update on this thing I call my Hackintosh journey. Till next time, denizens, so long.